Hello and welcome to ESPN FC Live, Friday's version. And that holding screen at the start gets more and more populated every single week. It's just nice not to have the biggest head in the room for once. That belongs to Craig Burley. Someone who's up there, though, with me is Gab Marcotti. We'll speak to him shortly. We've got Archie Reintadt over in Germany, a whole host of others. We've got Rob Dawson previewing the Premier League games. That's all still to come. And a preview of the Women's World Cup final. Looking forward to that one on Sunday, England against Spain. But we start with an ESPN FC exclusive. Lionel Messi sat down with our very own Luis Miguel Echegaray to chat into Miami and also some interesting little nuggets about his time with PSG.
Gracias, compañeros. Aquí estoy con el campeón mundial, el capitán de Inter Miami, Lionel Messi. Un placer. Leo, un placer. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Hola, muchas gracias.
Primera pregunta, Leo. Te he visto ya desde la llegada y he visto todos tus partidos aquí con Inter Miami. Y sinceramente te veo feliz, tranquilo, disfrutando. ¿Me puede decir, esa sensación es, la que transmites, es realmente lo que te sucede internamente o es por eso, porque elegiste Inter Miami?
Sí, la verdad que sí, que venía en búsqueda de esto cuando tomamos la decisión con mi familia, ¿no? De poder disfrutar otra vez como lo había hecho durante toda mi carrera, después de haber tenido 2 años complicados. La verdad que la pasamos mal y bueno, por suerte hoy estamos en un lugar el cual estamos felices, no solo por el resultado y lo deportivo, sino en el día a día con mi mujer, mis hijos, la manera de vivir, de pasar el tiempo, y la verdad que estamos disfrutando muchísimo de este momento.
Interesting that, well, first of all, the full interview is available online with a QR code. If you scan that, you'll see the full interview. But Gab, it's very interesting. In that interview, he talks about Paris Saint-Germain and basically says he didn't want to go there. He was forced to go there and he was forced out of Barcelona. That was then, this is now. We'll speak about the present shortly. But the comments, if you scan the QR code and you'll see the full interview with Lionel Messi that he makes about PSG, me going to PSG was neither planned nor desired. I did not want to leave Barcelona. How fresh is this, or did we know this at the time when he spoke on his arrival in Paris?
Well, we've known it because he's referenced it several times. He had harsh words for the Barcelona president when effectively he said, well, Messi didn't stay, or we wanted him to work out a way for him to stay, but we couldn't afford it given the financial situation we're in. I think this is one aspect which to me, frankly, has never been clear. One of the two is telling porkers or is misinformed. Mm-hmm. Because, even just now, it's news of last week, Santi Cazorla coming back to Spain to play for Real Oviedo for the league minimum, right? So if it was one of those situations where, there was no way that Messi could take a massive pay cut and go back to play, then people would understand it. But evidently, if Cazorla, as a free agent, can go back to Barcelona and pay for close to nothing, go back to Oviedo in his case, because he loves the club, then I don't see why Messi couldn't be able to do it. And if Barcelona say, well, we can't afford Messi because he makes too much money, then I can understand it. But then you can't then say, well, I never wanted to leave. Well, yeah, I wanted to leave, but then I had to because they couldn't pay me what I thought I was worth, which I think some people would understand, but isn't quite the same thing, to me at least.
Yeah, look, it's a really good interview, and I would urge you, if you want to scan the QR code, to see the interview in full. There's a lot of talk about Paris, but you know what? That's in the past. Right now, all everyone is talking about is Lionel Messi at Inter Miami. Simple question, Gab. Could it have gone any better for him in MLS so far?
Yeah, he could have scored 2 goals against the Union and maintained his average rather than just 1. No, I think it's been absolutely tremendous. He scored. It's not just the scoring goals; it's his presence on the pitch. The fact that Inter suddenly got better, because people make comparisons with Beckham, but what they forgot was the Galaxy were very bad under David Beckham. But here, the whole team has been lifted. Part of that maybe as well the arrival of Busquets and Jordi Alba as well. But Messi's been such a big part of that. We don't just want to see our superstars play well and give us highlights. We want to see our superstars make the teams around them, make the players around them better. And certainly that's happened, at least as far as the Leagues Cup is concerned. We'll see what happens later on when MLS picks up again.
Yeah, well, Inter Miami ain't going any lower, but it's how high they could go and who would put it past them getting into the playoffs and then potentially winning the whole thing, because right now they've got the best player in the world, possibly the greatest of all time. But before that, they've got a final of the Leagues Cup to look forward to against Nashville. How on earth did Nashville stop Lionel Messi this weekend?
Certainly the momentum is there, but I think the way you stop Lionel Messi is, I think the blueprint is there, right? So you know that Messi at this stage of his career, he's not going to press. He's going to play the game at a certain pace. The other players are going to have to work harder. So what you do is you want to shield him in a way that he doesn't get the ball. You make the other players work harder, so that maybe they're not going to be as fresh. Although I think, was it the third goal against the Union where? Or one of the goals against the Union, where basically it was a complete decoy situation where they all keyed in on Messi and I forget who it was, went and scored. Now Tata Martino has that tool as well. But how do you stop him? You go out there and you play as a team. It's still 11v11, right?
Finally, before we go on to the Premier League, one more question about Messi and the impact that he's made, not just to Inter Miami and down in Florida, but for the league in general. I mean, I've had a couple of managers from the UK saying, by the way, any potential for openings up in MLS or even the USL just to get their foot in the door? What he has done for the league going forward, not just Inter Miami, as far as we already know, there's millions, if not billions, of pairs of eyes on Lionel Messi and what he's doing here. But going forward in the future, what could the legacy be after kind of Messi's gone, with people right now trying to get involved while he's still here?
That's a really good question. So the temptation, and I think the people who are bankrolling this, and remember, it's corporate sponsors like Apple and Adidas heavily involved as well, is that this represents some sort of seminal turning points where the rights and the sponsorship are something to be really valuable, and the league's really going to. I don't mean take off, because I think the thing about MLS is, if you look at the attendance figures on a city by city regional level, they're doing fine. They're doing really, really well. I think the average attendance is 6th or 7th in the world, maybe even a little bit higher. That's not what Messi is there for. I think Messi is there to create a national conversation around MLS. And my view has been that one of the things which was necessary to guarantee MLS stability, but which also at the same time has held them back a little bit, is that this idea that you don't have the super clubs in MLS. You don't have the way we have in European football. Real Madrid are playing, Bayern are playing, Manchester City are playing. Everybody has to watch. You don't have those. So you'll get high local ratings because people are passionate about their own team. The national games, not quite the same thing. That is, I think, what Messi can bring, because Messi's obviously must-watch TV. Can you create that mass where you have those super clubs? Because tell you what, those stars exist in other U.S. sports, right? The Dallas Cowboys are America's team for a reason, right? That, I think, is a sweet spot that MLS wants to get to.
Final reminder, by the way, just a word of warning. When scanning the QR code, make sure you get the QR code, not Gab's brain, because if you get Gab's brain, you'll get a portal into everything that's in there. And that could take quite a long time to peruse. So, yeah, make sure you scan the QR code for Lionel Messi's interview with LME, which took place last night.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.